All right, guys, I'm going to share with you the number one productivity hack that I've come across in 2021. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. All right, so this productivity hack changed my life in 2021. This is something I literally just discovered, what was it? About a couple weeks ago only. This is how cutting edge this is for me personally. And maybe some of you guys have known about this. Maybe you do this. If you do, you're going to be ultra successful. I mean, there's no other way I can say it. I thought I knew a lot when it came to, being productive and stuff like that. But guys, I am still learning. I am still leveling up. I am still coming across information that can still benefit me and make me even better. And when I benefit from that information, you guys that are watching also benefit from that information, because I'm going to relay it back to you. I'm going to help you guys as well, because we're all about elevating our skill set here. Now, when it comes to productivity, maybe that's not just specific to, shall we say, offensive security. It's one of those things you can apply to any area of your life, but by being productive, it's going to give you more time. For me, what is the most difficult part in learning all the stuff I want to learn and moving forward is the fact that there's only 24 hours in a day. Honestly, that's been the biggest limitation, because time is limited. There was a time where I thought that, time was this overabundant resource. Like I just had so much of it, right? Then I come to realize that when you really subtract all of the things from it, like, the necessities that you have to do, eating and sleeping, and, all the other things, your work obligations, all the other things you have to do, time is very much a resource. It's more scarce. Don't make the mistake, and this is a bit of an aside here, but don't make the mistake of thinking that, money is a resource, but time is not a resource. Here's the thing, right? You can always get more money, right? You can lose money and you can get money back. You can make more money. But once you lose your time, you never can get it back, right? That is the one thing that once it's gone, it's gone. So it kind of blows my mind, just as an aside, it kind of blows my mind to see the blatant disrespect of time that most people have, where they're willing to waste as much time as need be and not even consider it a resource. And meanwhile, they're ultra scarce with spending their money to invest in themselves and things like that, right? Make no mistake, time is more of a scarce resource than money. And so where I was going with that is this productivity hack, once you implement it, essentially it buys you more time. It'll literally feel like there's more than 24 hours in a day. Like, that's how I felt when I started implementing this, honestly. Because one of the biggest detractors, one of the biggest limiting factors to this whole time thing is, for most of us, myself included, before I started implementing this, there's just so much wasted time in the day. If you really sit down and think about it, I am willing to bet that you spend a lot of time just kind of wasting it when you're going between activities, right? Once you sit down to do something and you can get into that zone sometimes, a lot of times, once you're able to get into that zone, everything's good. But what happens between those activities, right? When you go from finishing one activity to starting another activity on your list, right? Here's where you could be susceptible to, squandering some of your time. And those little bits of wasted time add up throughout the day. And yeah, you might have thought you spent 10 hours working on your projects or whatever. But in reality, if you were to detract all that wasted time, you probably just spent about 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, right? Whatever arbitrary hours it is, way less than you thought is my point. And that's what the system really eliminates. So I've been keeping you guys on the hook for a while. I'm going to go ahead and share this system with you guys. So there's two parts to this, right? There's the ABC method of planning. This comes down to planning, right? First is the ABC method of planning. This is something you could Google, you could look this up, but essentially you have A-level tasks, B-level tasks, and C-level tasks, okay? The A-level tasks are things that you absolutely have to get this done today, or there's gonna be some negative consequences. These are your highest priority items, right? Your B level is, things that you really want to get done. Like you really want to make sure this gets done today. But if it doesn't, it's not like a huge deal breaker. But with that being said, they're pretty high priority tasks, right? And then your C level tasks are the things that it would be nice if you got to them, right? It would be nice to do this and that. In the past videos, if you watch my content for any amount of time, right, you might have noticed I talked about habit tracking, habit stacking. Now, that is a great system. I stand by that, and it's really good if you can have that system work for you. But here's one of the things that system does not address. It does not address the manner of priority. So you might be stacking your habits such that you are getting certain activities done every day, but you might notice that other activities you're not getting to, and those activities you're not getting to, they might be of equal importance or even more like higher importance than the things you're doing every day, right? That's one thing that I've found. And once I implemented the system, it helped me prioritize and make sure that the most important things, the 80-20 principle, right? The 80% or the 20% that got me 80% of the results, those were the things that I was doing first, and I was getting done and, checking that off the list. And that way, every single day was very valuable, right? It wasn't just plugging away at tasks, but it was, doing the most important tasks, making sure I lock in the most important tasks every day. Now, with that being said, how can you even do this if you don't plan in the first place? And that is the second part, very critical, key part of this system, and that is plan tomorrow today. Now, this is not something I came up with. I'm out there learning all the time, watching different YouTubers and, reading stuff and trying to, improve my productivity, my skill set, myself. So this is not something, I'm not going to claim that I came up with this system, but this is been very key for me. Plan tomorrow today. So every single night or, whenever you want to do it really, but before the next day is the point. You want to plan out every single action item, every single thing that you need to do the next day, and have it categorized A, B, C. And then even within those A list, the B list, and the C list, categorize it in terms of what is the top priority, what is the lowest priority out of that, right? And you want to do this the day before. Because if you can do this, this is going to allow you to absolutely have complete understanding of not only what's important, but, what all needs to get done and, what are your C-level tasks that you'd like to get to perhaps. And what that allows you to do, because a lot of that wasted time that we talked about earlier, right? A lot of that wasted time is a result of not really having a clear direction of what you need to do next. And so when you not only categorize this stuff, but you give it a hierarchy of importance, you can go from item to item to item, like, okay, this is the next most important thing. This is the next most important thing. And you can just go down the line and just knock all these things out. And honestly, when you're checking these things off the list, it's pretty motivating, to be honest with you. You start to feel like that the effect of that momentum, that positive momentum, it's almost like a positive feedback loop as you just, take care of item after item. And what I have noticed implementing this system is that I hardly wasted any time. I would just go from activity to activity, and I wouldn't have to use the mental capacity, the mental bandwidth of being like, okay, well, what's next? Because even with that older system I was talking about, which, it's still good to track your, whether you're doing your habits or not, right? Habit tracking, habit stacking. This way I was able to know not just, okay, here's all the things I need to do today, but here's what I need to do today in the order of importance. So I'm going to do this item, then I'm going to do this one, then I'm going to do this one. And I would just go down the line. And what I noticed was all that wasted time seemed to just disappear. I would just be ultra efficient. And honestly, cutting out that time in between tasks is huge. And so what you will probably find as well if you implement this system is that it will seem like you have way more than 24 hours in a day. Like your days are going to seem, I'm not going to, like time will go by fast, don't get me wrong, but in terms of what you're able to get done in a day, to be honest with you, now I make time for doing some fun stuff, some hobbies, some things that are like just things on the side, like not even related to making content, not even related to security, just things that I want to do because these were things that I didn't have time for before, and now I do. And it's just amazing to really I didn't even think it was possible to get this much more time out of my days. And now I can do things that I enjoy. Here's another part to this. I can do the things that I enjoy without feeling guilty of like, oh, well, I just kind of, played some video games or something today and I didn't get my stuff done, right? Because, it's not really about whether you waste your time playing video games or not. It doesn't matter what the activity is. The main reason that that's normally bad is that you're doing that activity instead of doing what you need to do. But if you're doing everything you need to do every day, then yeah, go ahead and enjoy your hobbies. And so try this out for yourself. This has been a game changer for me, honestly. I know this title might sound a bit clickbaity, but it was honestly a life-changing discovery when I discovered this system. And yeah, give it a try for yourself. Let me know down in the comment section how it goes for you. We're constantly trying to optimize here, and I like to hear maybe you guys have a different strategy that works really well for you. I'd love to hear about that as well. And if you are pursuing the OSCP, this is definitely something that is going to be really beneficial for you and help you avoid burnout and all that kind of stuff, right? Because if you have more time in the day and you can actually kick back, relax sometimes, well, or if you just need to go extra hard, then maybe this system will work for you for a short period of time while you get your OSCP or whatever. If that is your goal, be sure to check out my playlist, What You Need to Know for OSCP over here. Get my free notes as well down in the description below, and I will see you guys right over in those videos.